Hey there, I am Jen Pacici, and today I'm going to tell you how much I need your approval. I wrote a blog post this week, but I wanted to spend some time talking about it here as well, about my need for approval and how it is time for me to change that. I am 40 years old. I still want people, including like my family members and friends and random strangers on the internet, to approve of me, to approve of specifically like what I say and what I believe. Like I want everyone to agree with me. And I know my mind knows that's completely ridiculous, and it can see how it's interfering with my life. So this week I wrote about how I plan on letting go of that need for approval. The way this really came up into my consciousness as something I wanted to talk about is because I realized that in my business, I put out this, I feel like my energy is, here's this information. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Is this okay? Whereas my intention, the energy that I want to convey is more of, hey, this thing has really helped me and has made my life so much better. And I can see that it could, if it's right for you, also make your life better. So here's this thing I'm sharing with you. I still have my hand up, my giant hand. Here's this thing. Take it or leave it. I love you. It doesn't matter if you agree. It doesn't matter if you want this. It's just here if you need it. So there's this, I think, pretty significant change in energy where instead of me walking around sort of like with my hand out, like asking for people to agree with me or like tell me I'm right or just not, like leave mean comments, which nobody ever does. It's not like I have lots of haters on the internet. It's just this like fear my mind has made up. So instead of doing that, for me, I just wish to live from that place where I'm like, I know what I'm sharing is pure of heart. This feels right to me. I will put it out there and let it fall where it may. This feels so important to me right now because I'm kind of shifting in my business. I've been spending a lot of time making art the last few years and doing some self-development, like writing and that sort of thing. But now I'm really shifting towards doing just intuition and inner voice work. I'm sure I'll still paint and make art, but and it's a kind of a weird thing. Like this isn't, you didn't ever grow up thinking like, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to go to college and study intuition and I'm going to work with people on the internet and just talk to their inner intuition or inner voice. Like that's not a thing that people had heard of or did. And my mind just sometimes has a hard time, like it just wants like me to do things that are more like normal, but at the same time I know that is not right for me. So anyway, I have realized that this need for approval is impacting my business. It's impacting my happiness. It just doesn't let me fully be who I am. So in the blog post, I wrote down 4 things I was going to do to change that. Can I remember what they are at this moment? Maybe, we'll see. I know one of them is just, shifting my energy. Being conscious of when if I'm writing a post for Instagram, just like getting into that feeling of like, oh yeah, this is helpful. I have helpful information and just feeling good about it instead of being like, oh, I hope this doesn't like make anyone feel weird or offend them or what if no one agrees with me? Like it's just a shift from like sort of like down here to more up here. Like, oh yeah, I am helpful for who's open to receiving it. Yeah, cool. I have good stuff to share. So that energy shift is one thing I'm working on to get rid of my need for approval. Another thing is living more from my intuition, living more from, I've been doing these inner voice sessions because I'm becoming a certified inner voice facilitator through Jess Lively. So I've done some of these sessions. I've been the client a couple times and I've facilitated. And one of the things you do is just sort of like blow out those stories your mind is telling you and like focus your attention. For me, it's down here, like where you've heard your intuition before or where you felt it before, and just placing your awareness there. So I am just moving towards spending more time there, less time up here, letting my brain run the show, less time letting my mind like make up. I mean, your mind does this too, right? Your mind just makes up all these stories. It could be about money and career. It could be about relationships. It could be about your health. The mind just goes on and 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 on. It's like, you're gonna die. Your pants are getting too tight. You're a horrible person. You're not worthy. If you do it that way, you're gonna upset your father. If you change the way things are, your kids will hate you. Like, it just goes on and on and on and on. And that's where that need for approval is coming from in the first place. So I'm trying to focus more just down, 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 down. And things are so much calmer down there. Now the mind wants to argue and be like, yeah, but you have to know what's going on. You have to know what's going on with the news. You have to be aware. You can't just be happy all the time. You can't be peaceful. But I don't know why. Like, I think I'm here to enjoy life and to learn and grow. So why shouldn't I spend more time down here where things feel good and they feel calm? I don't know. I'd rather be down there. And when I'm down there, I'm not attached to that, like that gripping need for approval. So that's another thing I'm doing. The third thing I'm doing is just practicing saying things that scare me. Like, that I believe in souls, and that I believe in reincarnation, and that I believe that we have many lives, and it's okay if you don't agree with me. And there are other things that I don't think, like, that aren't aligned to me. Like, when I see lots and lots of stuff about crystals, I think they're pretty. I don't think I need them. I don't think that's gonna save my life. I don't know. There's just there's certain things that feel aligned for me and certain things that don't. And it's fine for me to share what feels aligned for me. And once again, not needing you to agree with me. If you think that I am a quack, that is fine. You do not have to listen to me. You do not have to do what I suggest. You should do what your own intuition feels is right for you. Or if you want to continue living from your mind all the time, that's fine too. It is all fine. So sharing things that in the past I've been scared to say, like believing in souls. I believe that all is well all the time, because I think we're just humans almost like on a chessboard just playing. I don't mean someone else is moving us like they would be on a chessboard, but kind of like we're all in a play. Like, it feels so important to our minds all the time, all of this stuff, but really we're all going to die. And depending on what your belief system is, you might think we just die. And in that case, also, why does it matter then what you did? If you're just going to die and your consciousness dies and nothing continues, then who cares whether or not you got into an Ivy League school or married well? Like, really, any way you look at it, none of this stuff really matters. What matters, in my opinion, is doing things that feel right to you and aligned to you. And the fourth thing is just remembering that this is just a mind game. The need for approval all just comes from the mind. It's not real. It's just a made-up thing in the mind. The mind thinks you need approval to get ahead. The mind feels safe when it's approved of, but that's very dangerous, because if you need the approval of other people to feel safe and happy, then you're constantly relying on other humans who are volatile and will change their minds for your own happiness. Whew, that scared me. So that's what I'm doing. See you next week.